Capping like the narco. Got dope like Pablo. Cut throat like Pablo. Chop trees with the Draco. On the north got Diego.
Hey babes, today I'm showing y'all how I created a cherry blossom nail design. And I'm starting off with Zule's 6XL nail tips. And I just put them in my mannequin, and it don't really, just use whatever size fits. But they were really nice tips. They're so freaking long. Like, these tips are longer than, they're actually longer than this, but you can't really see how long they are because I had to shove them up in the cuticle area. But I'm definitely going to be using these tips for another Instagram nail design. What you just saw me apply to the nails was alcohol ink. I actually made this alcohol ink myself a very long time ago. The alcohol ink that I made was actually with a Sharpie. I made several colors, and if you look it up on YouTube, you will be able to find other people's tutorials on how they created alcohol ink. And I really like it because it looks like a jelly color. And so I took that alcohol ink, I applied it to all the nails, which you don't actually have to do first, but I went ahead and I did it first just to make sure that it was going to be full coverage all over the nails. And I also added the alcohol ink to my monomer, and that's just going to give you the same exact color depending on how much you use. And I just added a few drops. You see the beads. It doesn't have to be, a whole lot because it's still going to give you that jelly effect. I'm just using that and some clear acrylic. The clear acrylic I used was from Model Ones, but you can use any clear acrylic, obviously. I just like to use this one. I like that it comes, there's a lot in there, okay? You get a lot of acrylic in those things, and I found that on Amazon. So I'm just doing my acrylic application, and I'm just going to try to build up these nails as much as possible. This is a mannequin hand, so there was no need for me to make these nails super thick, but I still wanted to do and show a basic application. In this video, I'm only going to be showing acrylic application for one finger because I do plan on making a separate video on how I do acrylic application on my real hand. This video, I just wanted to show the cherry blossom design, so if anybody liked it, they could, recreate it if they wanted to. I'm also not showing in this video shaping and filing. I did make a separate video. That's the first video of this nail set. I showed how I shaped and filed these nails into a moon shape, but this video is just going to be designs, so feel free to skip through if you want. I'm going to add timestamps so you'll see when the design portion begins, but it's coming up soon. On a side note, all I'm doing with the application is checking the finger. I'm spinning the finger around just to make sure I didn't miss any spots, so that there's not any dents when I go in for my shaping and filing. I don't use any bead methods when it comes to doing nails these long. I really just use as many beads as I think that I need for the entire nail. Because as you can see, like when you're doing longer nails, like shorter nails are much easier. I can do shorter nails with pretty much one bead. But with longer nails, you want to still make sure that your structure is right so that you don't accidentally break your nails. You don't want indents all over your nails. But with longer nails, the indents may come in right in the middle. So I just go in with some acrylic and I make sure I dry those beads off in order to fill in any indents in the nail. And I try to cover the body of the nail before I go and do my cuticle beads. As long as the nails have a pretty good structure and they're pretty smooth, don't worry about if your nails get a little lumpy and bumpy. You do want to make sure that you can get a pretty smooth application so you don't have to do, a crap ton of filing at the end. But with longer nails, sometimes it can go either way, girl. So if it gets a little thick, don't worry about it, because you can go in with that hand file and your e-file at the end, and you can fix up anything that needs to be fixed. Just make sure you don't have any dents, because that will be hard to correct without making the nails too thin. So if you see any dents, fill them. Just fill them. It's about time for making up. Told you what
wasn't with you waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you. Show you something, give you more than words. You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you there. Take you there, won't you?
I'm going to be using Zule's Bling Glue to apply some bling to these nails. I decided to go with a flower design, a flower pattern, because of the idea I already had in mind. I'm kind of a freestyler, but I already had the idea for this design that I wanted to do. So I placed larger crystals in the middle and then smaller crystals around the larger ones to give a flower effect. I did freestyle this bling design because I didn't really know exactly where I wanted the flowers to be, so I just staggered the rhinestones all over, and I just chose which nails that I wanted to put the flower pattern on, because I knew that I was going to go in and do some hand-drawn nail art on the other fingers. And I think I ended up, I did them on all the fingers, but I just did them in between the designs that I put down with the bling. I'm going to zoom in and let y'all watch this bling portion, and then I'll be back with the hand-drawn nail art.
With you tonight is on a island. It's about time for waking up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you. Show you something, give you more than words. You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you there. Take you there, won't you? With you tonight is on a island. It's about time for waking up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you. Show you something, give you more than words. You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you there. Take you there, won't you? With you tonight is on a island. It's about time for waking up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you. Show you something, give you more than words. You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you there. Take you there, won't you? With you tonight is on a island. It's about time for waking up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So come close, won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you. Show you something, give you more than words. You have it, place on earth. Take you there, take you there. miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just to know you were true. So I come close, so won't you? Won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? If you have it, place on nothing. I'll take you there. I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. If you have it, place on nothing.
I decided to make some 3D flowers on these nails, so I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm only going to create 3D flowers on the nails that don't have flower designs with bling. I wasn't going for a perfect 3D flower look because I wanted it to imitate a cherry blossom, and when I looked up photos of cherry blossom, they were pretty much scattered, so I wanted to make these 3D flowers look a little bit more like bows. Girl, I don't know, but it came out cute. So when I'm picking up beads for 3D flowers, I'm picking up very small beads of acrylic, and I'm not going to dry these beads off. I just let these beads sit on my brush until the acrylic has until it's wet. So if you look at your beads, they will look dry when you first pick them up, or they'll have like little crusties all around the beads. But if you let it sit long enough, it'll become completely wet. It'll polymerize, and it'll allow you to be able to mold the acrylic. When you're placing your beads down for 3D designs or for 3D flowers, anything like that, you're not going to go in and immediately start moving the beads around. So I'm going to actually slow this part down so that you can see what it would look like in real time before you start pressing your beads in the center. You notice how I'm waiting in between the time that I set the bead down and the time I start pressing in the center. I'm just creating indents in the flower to create a petal. So you don't want to press too far up into your bling. You want to lay your brush flat and press downward to create a petal effect. So just be patient with this, especially if you want them to be more symmetrical and you want them to, come out a little neater. I didn't actually care for this design. I wanted this design to be like a carefree, freestyle type of thing. I wanted it to be kind of messy. Didn't really know what I wanted, and I just knew that I wanted it to look good I wanted it to look like a lot going on. A lot of the nails that I like to do have a lot going on, but that's just my style. So definitely very busy nails. But on a side note, girl, I really liked how this design came out. It was so cute. But anyways, all right, so I was going for a two-tone design because cherry blossoms look like they have several different shades of pink from the photos that I looked up. They had so many variants. There's so many different shades. They had light pink, they had dark pink. So I decided to use both. And the timing in between, I pretty much just allowed the first two beads of dark pink acrylic to kind of dry before I put the light pink on top of it. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but you do want it to be dry enough to where you're not going to smear both petals together. You don't want to blend the two colors. So you are going to allow your first color to dry a little bit first. You don't want to just go in with two beads of wet acrylic, because then your colors just going to be fused together. This brush that I'm using is a 3D nail art brush, and it's by Mia Secret, and I found it on Amazon. And I like to use this brush for small details when I'm doing 3D nail art. But I don't really do 3D nail art a whole lot. I do like doing flowers, and I did recently make a large gingerbread on my nails. And I also use this brush for the little feet on my gingerbread. But this brush I like this brush because I'm able to work with it. It's small. When I'm picking up beads for the 3D flowers, also, I'm just dipping my brush into the monomer, tapping it off maybe once or twice. Most times once, because the brush is already so small, so it's not going to pick up a whole lot of monomer. And sometimes you just saw me swipe, but you should definitely just tap your brush in the monomer and then tap it on the side of the dish. And then you'll be able to pick up a decent sized bead to make a 3D flower. Now with that petal, it was a little thin. That petal was a little smaller and it was a little more liquid than powder. So you saw me moving that bead around a whole lot. This part, I got a little bit lazy. Now, when you once you get the hang of 3D flowers, or in this case, I'm not doing a flower. I'm just making I just wanted it to look like a little bow. So I actually placed all 3 of my beads at the same time, and I molded them all at the same time just to make the process a little faster. And you can definitely do this if you feel comfortable, if you feel comfortable making petals already. It'll just speed up your time a lot. So again, I allowed the dark pink. I allowed that dark pink acrylic to settle a little bit first, and then I went in with my smaller beads of the light pink acrylic. I just wanted there to be a contrast between the 2 colors. So I'm just gonna press the light pink acrylic into the dark pink acrylic. And then again, for this design, it does not have to be perfect, because the cherry blossom hand drawn nail art is really what's going to make it pop, not the flowers or bows. You can make them perfect if you want, but for this design, it just didn't have to be perfect. So I just went for it. Just go for it.
With you tonight is on an island. It's about time for making up. Times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you never said I didn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just to know you want you. So I come close, I want you. Can I tell you something for what it's worth? We can have it in place on nothing. We'll take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. We can have it in place on nothing. We'll take you there, I'll take you there. Take you there, won't you? Fill me up till my cup's overflowing. I'm so anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear you saying to me, baby, it's about time we're making up time. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you never said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just to know you loved you. So come close, won't you? Can I tell you something for what it's worth? We can have it in place on nothing. We'll take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. We can have it in place on nothing. We'll take you there, I'll take you there. Take you there. Please be done. Just be nothing, give me that. I want you to give it to me, yeah. Please be done. Just be nothing, give me that. I want you to give it to me, yeah. Tonight is on an island. It's about time for making up. Times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you never said I didn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just to know you want you. So I come close, won't you?
Girl, I forgot I wasn't recording. I was not recording those first few nails. So I'm using a liner brush. I'm using a liner brush. Again, I got it off Amazon. I buy pretty much all my stuff off Amazon. I'm an Amazon girl. I love Amazon because my stuff will be here in 2 days. So when I'm doing these, I just was free balling. I mean, well, girl, free balling. I was freestyling this. I just looked at the nails and I just placed lines where I thought it would be cute, where I thought it would fit best. So because I did longer lines on the pinky and basically I just filled in the gaps, girl. I did a long line on the pinky. I did 2 different lines on the index finger. And now for the ring finger, I'm just going around the design that I already made. So I did a flower on this finger. So I'm going to fill in any gaps. And for the cherry blossom design, you're just going to draw your straight lines going in whatever crazy direction or pattern that you want it to be. And then you're just going to draw little sticks that are attached to it. You're just going to draw a little lines towards the end of your longer line. You're going to make smaller lines around it. And this design was so easy. It was so simple, and it still gave the effect that I was going for. It came out really nice. I keep saying that, girl. That's just because it's mine. I like my nails. Okay, thank you. So I'm sorry, you couldn't even see what I was doing, but I'm just making imagine it's a tree. I'm just making little tree branches. That's what I'm drawing. I'm drawing tree branches in whatever direction that I felt like it would look nice. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to let y'all watch. The only thing that I'm going to do after this is draw little dots all around it. I wanted it to really look like the tree because I felt like something was missing from the design. And because even after I drew these little tree branches, it still looked a little plain to me. So I went in and added a little detail, and that's all you really have to do to make a design look busy. Just add a little more detail, and girl, it's going to pop. And don't forget to cure. Don't forget to cure. I cured in between each 2 nails that I did. Every 2 nails that I did. So the index finger and the pinky, I cured those. And before I did the middle finger and the ring finger, after I did those, I cured those as well. And then I moved on to the thumb. So just don't forget to cure in between so you don't ruin the design that you've already placed once you like what you have down. Especially because you see how my little thumb just be moving and gripping the nails and stuff like that. Yeah, my little thumb be busy. So I would accidentally smear these nails if I hadn't cured first. So don't do that.
It's about time for waking up. Times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So I come close, I want you. Can I tell you something for what it's worth? When you have it, that's on nothing. Take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. When you have it, that's on nothing. Take you there.
Here I'm using McCart's rhinestone glue, and I'm just applying a dragon charm again that I found off Amazon. Girl, I really love this. Like, it just completely, it went with the whole design. It went with the whole theme that I was going for. And I did cure the dragon onto the nail before I continued my nail art.
Take you there, won't you? Fill me up till my cup's overflowing. I'm so anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear you saying to me, baby. It's about time for making up time. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So
I am using a black gel polish instead of a brown gel polish because I just felt like the black would pop more against this green as opposed to a brown. So I opted out for the black gel polish instead. For my branches, I'm using Beetles gel polish, and don't ask me where I got it.
Won't you fill me up till my cup's overflowing? I'm so anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear you saying to me, baby, said our time we're making up time. The times you wasn't really waking up. Now you never said I couldn't let you touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just alone with you. So complex, won't you? Can I tell you something for what it is worth? We've been having that's
I actually could have top coated this design after I did the flowers, but y'all know I'm backwards, so I had to do that part at the end. And here's where I'm going in with my dots. I decided to go with a light pink color for the dots just to match the flowers a bit. And I wanted it to pop, so I didn't do the dark. So I'm just going in and I'm placing dots at the tips of my branches. Well, not all the way at the tip, but a little bit before the tip, so you can still see the end of my branches. And I'm just adding them either to the sides or to, you know, just throw your dots wherever you want your dots to be, girl, because it really don't matter. The whole design just, in my opinion, came together when I added the dots. I really liked how it, girl, you know, I liked it.
Won't you fill me up till my cup's overflowing? I'm so anxious just to feel the silence. It's so quiet, but I hear you saying to me, baby, said our time we're making up time. The times you wasn't really waking up. Now you never said I couldn't let you touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just alone with you. So complex, won't you? Can I tell you something for what it is worth? We've been having that's I'll show you something, give you more than words. We've been having that's
Let me know, y'all, if y'all liked how this design came out. I'm showing you a few pictures here. If you did like them, please leave a like. Don't like it if you really didn't like it, girl. But if you liked it, please leave a like for me, comment below, and subscribe to my channel for more content. See y'all.
Capping like the narco. Got dope like Pablo. Cut dope like Pablo. Chop trees with the Draco.